Hey, Shack Packers. Just a heads up. Steph and I are a little out of step with our recording schedule at the moment, but rather than leave the shack empty, we've conjured up something a little different for you. We started a new little side series called True Tales from the Shack. These are bite-sized episodes that dive into true, unusual, creepy and unexplained tales and odd myths and folklore from around the world. You'll hear these now and then when Steph and I can't get to record together. But don't worry, we'll be back together again very soon. So for now, pull up a seat, grab your favourite brew and swing that light and enjoy this creepy little true tale from the shack. Michelle's story. This story comes from Michelle Hendricks in Texas in the USA. It's the kind of story that lingers, because this isn't just about a haunted house. It's about a house that should have been a home, but seemed to resist being lived in. Our thanks go to Michelle and her family for entrusting us with what must have been an utterly terrifying chapter of their lives. Part 1. First Impressions. Michelle tells us the very first day and night in that house, we all felt it. It was a heavy, frightening feeling. One of my daughter's friends even said, I think we should all sleep in one room tonight. My boss's friend owned the house, but never told me its history. It was a single-story house, 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. 3 of the bedrooms lined up on the left side of the living room, and my own bedroom had once been the garage, converted and tucked just off the kitchen. The previous tenants had left some things behind. On one wall, a picture of Jesus. That actually gave us some comfort. But on a shelf nearby, we found a satanic Bible. Needless to say, we threw it out. The picture of Jesus stayed, as they hoped it might guard them. But it didn't take long for the house to answer back. Part 2. The face at the window. Michelle goes on. Late one night, my youngest daughter and her friend came screaming into my room. They said they'd seen a face looking in through their window. Michelle went straight to see for herself. The room was suffocating. It just felt so close. Her older daughter and her friend were pale with terror. They'd seen it too, and they had details. A man's face, glowing red eyes, and shoulder-length curly hair. Michelle was speechless. She checked outside the house, and that revealed nobody there. The girls were moved into another room that night, and they never went back in there again. But the face? Michelle believed it stayed. Michelle said, one day I had to shut my cats in that room. They went completely mad. scratching at the walls, hurling themselves at the windows. They were desperate to get out. I moved them immediately. Even the dog wasn't immune. She'd be let out into the garden to do her business quickly, and then she would sprint across the yard and straight up the shed stairs. It seemed to be her safe place. She'd sit there rigid, her tail tucked, refusing to come when she was called. And it was only when Michelle went to fetch her that she would creep back towards the house, pulling hard against her lead, with her eyes darting as if something were following. Part 3. The Closet and the Tombstones. The spare room had a large walk-in closet. It always felt cold inside, Michelle said, like stepping into a freezer. Except weirdly, first thing in the morning, when it felt fine. Then came the children's discovery outside. Behind the shed in the garden, they found several old weathered tombstones.
Oh my lord!
And 2 still bore names that could be read. Part 4. The Nights. Every night, at exactly 9 p.m, came the sound. Michelle tells us it was a loud bang, always from the kitchen. My bedroom was right beside it, and I'd go and look, but there was no one there. But every night the same thing. Shadows moved through Michelle's room, she said. Clothes hangers swung on their own. And twice the house completely erupted with banging on every window, circling the house at an impossible speed. Part 5. The house's history. When Michelle asked a neighbour about the house, they told her someone had once hung themselves in that closet. You know, that one that froze you to the bone when you went in. After learning this, the activity seemed to get even worse, if that was possible. A carpet had to be lifted in the lounge, and every night after that, a dark blood red stain began appearing on the floor, right in front of the hallway leading to the bedrooms. Michelle would attempt to scrub it away, but the next evening it would appear again, the stain as strong as ever. Nighttime was always the most terrifying time. Whispers were heard throughout the house. Footsteps would echo from the attic, even though there was no one up there. The cats began tearing through the house as if they were being hunted by something invisible, and the dog's fear grew worse, and she sometimes refused to even cross the threshold to the house, clinging to the shed steps as if they were the only safe place left. Then came the snake. Michelle's daughter had a pet snake, and we suddenly found it loose in the house, the cage still locked, untouched, as if someone or something had released it. Part 6. The Voice. And then the house itself spoke. Michelle says, I heard it clear as day, a man's voice.
Leave now.
I didn't tell the girls. They were scared enough. And that same night a window pane fell out of the frame of the window. It landed whole, unbroken in the yard. Michelle fixed it the next morning, but she was already planning their escape. Part 7. The house that never let go. Michelle says, we left that day. I couldn't stay in that house another night. I couldn't let my children stay in that house another night. Years later, after it had been sold and remodelled, I actually went back for a visit. The moment I stepped inside, that same awful feeling washed over me. The closet was still ice cold, and I told the real estate lady, I lived here before. This house is haunted. That house should have been a home for us. Instead, it's the place that took away our peace. My daughters, they tried to forget, but it never really let go of us. People say you leave haunted houses behind, but the truth is, they occasionally stay with you and haunt your dreams. It's one thing to tell a ghost story, but another to live one. Thank you, Michelle, for your amazing story.
Thanks for hanging out in the shack with us. If you've got a strange story, theory, or even just a spooky question, send it to shackpackinbox@gmail.com because we'd love to hear from you. Follow us to ensure that you never miss an episode of the Freakin Shack, because listening to us is much cheaper than therapy and slightly more spooky. Until we meet again next week, Shackpackers, take care.